so much.
Let's talk about lesson number 8. Lesson 8.
Okay.
And you have it in front of you, but it says build a life worth sharing. By the way, while we're reading and we're reviewing a few lessons from this book entitled "We Don't Always Get It Right the First Time." The interesting thing, Ernest, is you see me looking at the cover every time. I know, but it's almost surreal that I hold in my.
I know.
Yes. Yeah. So I look at it just from that perspective. But lesson 8 says build a life worth sharing. Establish the kind of heart, the kind of life and home that make people feel warm and welcome. Make your life attractive to other people. Have a life worth sharing. Get married, have children, preferably in that order. You see my humor coming out. If you choose or desire to have children at all, you might even opt not to share your life with anybody. But here's the lesson. At least have a life that's worth sharing. So this really speaks to self. I believe, because I believe that if you're not improving yourself, if you're not renewing yourself, if you're not reinventing yourself, then you're just recycling yourself.
Oh, that's so good.
You know,
that's so good.
And if anyone has been a fan of your music, a follower of yours, it's clear that your music and your growth has gone through and continues to go through these revolutions and this renewal so that you stay current. So my question is, how do you do that on a personal, professional, and spiritual level? You can pick one or all, but how do you renew and go through this re-evolving on a personal, spiritual, or professional level?
Well, I'm very hard on myself in terms of presentation, and not just the physical presentation, but even vocally, trying to stay vocally fit, because you don't want to really, when you're on display. See, I look at this as, out of all the people God could have used to do this, if he chooses to put you on display, then you need to look the part. You need to study to show yourself approved. And when you get on that stage, you may have that one chance to really appeal and make an impact. So your voice needs to be intact. So I have to get proper rest. When my friends are going out and seeing movies and shopping, hanging out, guess what? I have to go to bed, because my vocals will treat me really good if I treat them really bad. And I had to learn this. I was like, oh, I can hang out. No. And so to make it presentational, but also for up and coming artists who are watching you, you said make it presentable, so that it's welcoming for people to come. People can look at this industry and they can see the good, bad, and the ugly. But I could show them how, if you surrender yourself, if you stay under God's, care and his protection, and you take care of the gift will always represent the kingdom of God, and it'll welcome people. Oh, I want to do it. Oh, I'm happy to do it. And it has to be in every area of your life. My health. I got to exercise. If you're going to get on that stage under lights, people have had heart attacks getting on that stage to do a 1-hour set under lights, and you're jamming to a band. You got all these things. So your health, your wealth, because sometimes you have to finance a lot of things on your own in this industry. Right, and it takes money to promulgate the gospel. So you want to be your wealth and your health. You got to look the part, and you got to sound the part. And so that's an everyday thing. I wake up and I'm very hard on myself. You could have did this better. You could have done that better. Get a haircut, look presentation. That you don't get any off days when God has you on display.
Wow. That
off days.
That is really something. I think we may reflect on, some of us think about people who have certain gifts and talents, and we think that they just can naturally jump up on the stage and do those kinds of things, but we don't always about when we steward of the things that God has placed in our hands. I talked about that in my last book review. We have to be a good steward over we have to be a good steward over everything that's been assigned to us, whether it's our gifts and talents, our health and wealth. And I do know, here's a funny story, you all, because you may not see this in any other Earnest Pugh interview. Earnest and I have traveled together, and I remember I wanted to go sightseeing. I think there were 3 of us who had traveled. Sightseeing. I wanted to go see all of the sights. So, and I had the camera just taking pictures. I don't remember what.
Oh my God!
But I was still just really energetic, and all I heard was, "Cutler, I'm heading back to the hotel because I." And I'm thinking, Ernest, do you remember that?
He was like, we are thousands of miles away. I was like, listen, my body just told me that I don't have any concerts to do for 5 days. It's already in sleep mode.
Right,
You had
right.
so much energy.
Yeah, well,
Oh my God.
yeah, yeah.
I feel like I'm older sometimes.
No, no, no. But I get that, and I appreciate that. One of the ways that you've been able to re-evolve or renew is by taking care of the gift and the vessel. I think that's just wisdom. Definitely, if we talk about as this book says in its subtitle, Lessons for the Next Generation.
Absolutely.
Young people now who are gifted and talented and innovative and intuitive, and so they come with a whole arsenal of things. But the management of those things, if they are not careful, it is the management of those things that will cause their, I don't want to say the fall, but their fumbles and their foibles a lot of times. So if we can teach them to manage those things, I think they will be better artists and better writers and better professors.
Yes.
Like we are. Yeah.
And if they're faithful with the least, God will give you more and more and more. I remember Dr. Maddie Moss Clark, when she would sit in the workshops with us. I grew up coaching, and she would say, if you can't be faithful going to sing on the local praise team, God is not going to trust you to go out and do a concert in the community. And then when we got signed to record deals, where you can't be faithful with your local church and singing in the regional, he's not going to trust you with the nation. And then, of course, the world. And that has proven to be true. It's like when people know that you'll show up for your flight, that you show up for sound check, you'll be on time when they come to get you. If that goes the other way, and a bad report gets out, you'll see those people. Some people have one hit; they're one-hit wonders. But people that you see with longevity and keep going, it's because they've got a good report in the gate. That's what you want.
A good report in the gate. You know my anecdote for that, and I've shared it before, and I continue to say it. It reminds me of Jesus' first miracle when he turned water into wine. I often say, if he can trust you with the water, then he'll trust you with the wine. But
that's good.
But if he
Let me
can't
write
trust
that
you
down.
You're gonna write it down?
Yeah. And if I use it, I'll send you a little love offering. Okay, hold
on. Just mention my name. That's all. Okay. But it is true. It is true. One of the reasons that a lot of people have the wine, or the wealth that the wine is represented in the wine.
Ooh, that's good.
God has been able to trust them with the water.
Woo, that's good. But if y'all don't get anything else, get that tonight.
Get that, yes. If he can trust you with the water, then he can trust you with the wine. One of the things I also want to share that my friend here and I have in common, we are both, and we just got to put this plug out here, we are both Bison, Howard University.
Yes.
Hey,
you know.
Yes, I just wanted to put that out there. But Ernest, I want to go on to the next lesson. Next lesson. Thank you all. They're really enjoying this, Ernest, and they're giving comments and saying a whole lot of things. You
awesome.
Just one more time, just hit the hearts and the love button for my good friend, gospel recording artist, Earnest Pugh. Again, if you've never heard of him, his last name is spelled Pugh. I jokingly sometimes say Ernest, but
right with that. I answer to just about anything, so it's all good.
Right, but it's Earnest Pugh. He has an amazing discography. He has an amazing bio. He has an amazing track record in the gospel music industry. He is well respected by his peers. He is sought after all across this country, all across the world. And I'm sure when this quarantine is lifted, many of you never heard of him, or at least seen him in this interview, you're going to want to follow him. You're going to want to become a fan of his on all of his social media platforms. You're going to want to run out and get his music. And not just because he is a friend of mine, but he is one of the absolute best vocalists.
Oh, wow. You're kind.
But you know it to be true. You know that to be true. And not only are you an amazing vocalist, Ernest, but you are an amazing human being. And I'll share this on this platform. We're going to get to lesson number 9. But not too long after you and I became friends, I remember when one of my dear cousins passed. And
not many. Aunt Annie.
Yeah, so no, Minnie, that's right, that's right. That was cousin Minnie, who's like my
Cousin Minnie.
Minnie's son, and you understood the emotional pain that I was in, and you said, if I can help Cutler, let me know. And you went to my cousin Minnie and cousin Bill's house with me, and you said I would do the music. And you,
that's right.
That is the kind of being that he is. He said, I do the music. Don't even worry about that piece.
That's hard.
Yeah, and so that has always reminded me that there's a human being behind this voice.
Bless you, man.
There is a creature behind the craft.
I like that.
Ernest,
I'm gonna have to write that one down too.
Okay, I just dropped these nuggets, and two of my friends actually said, when you drop these nuggets, would you just tell people, I'm just trying to save your life?
Are they in the book?
Well, they're not. Now catch this. They're not in this book. That's all I have to say.
Okay, so you got to get them all, Saints. You got to just go get them all, because he got so many. He got many.
But it is true, and you have always been a real human being. And my cousin Minnie and cousin Bill have never forgot that moment.
I love them.
I love them. Thank you. I want to go to lesson 9. Lesson 9.
Okay.
It says secure your present before trying to share your future. I won't even read the anecdote, but it's really about, like on an airplane, when you hear before you administer oxygen to somebody else, make sure that you first administer it to yourself. And this it's about self-improvement. And because, again, I just believe that if you're not renewing and reinventing, then you're just recycling yourself.
Oh, that's so good.
It really is true. And so as I think about doing some introspection, it means I've got to do some self-examination. I have to make sure that I am strong enough. I'm strong enough to sustain the hand that I'm called to hold.
Ooh, that's good.
Because make sure that you secure your present before trying to share your future. If I am no good in my present, I can't be any good to anybody else in the future. And
that's so good.
Is that one of the things we do? We don't even like who we are. We don't like what we have. We don't like what we possess. But then we try to give that to somebody else. And when I was growing up, my mother always said, don't give anybody something that you would not want for yourself. Whether it was clothing, whether it was food, if you're going to make a donation, when we used to have to take things to the church, don't give somebody something if you don't want it yourself. And it's the same way with our lives, our heart.
Same way.
Because at some point, we're going to share our heart, and we have to make sure that the heart that I share with somebody is sharing. The life that I share with somebody is worth sharing. So I want to ask you, my friend.
Powerful.
How do you make sure in any sphere of your life, how do you make sure that you're strong enough, sustain the hand that you're going to hold? Because you can't let go. You may be their only connection to life. So what do you do to make sure that I'm strong enough in ministry, in my profession, in my craft, to maintain the connection and sustain the hand that I have to hold? How do you do it?
My grandmother, and I always go back to my mother and my grandmother because they were such women of wisdom. They would always say, as the Bible would say, you never build a house without counting up the cost. And so I take this back to when I wanted to help. I've always been a proponent of trying to help raise up the next generation of worshipers and recording artists and ministers. So a few years ago, I wanted to start a company called the EPM Music Group. And I had 3 artists in mind who I believe were on the backside of the desert. They were ministering, they were anointed, souls were getting saved by them, lives were being changed, but they didn't have a platform. So I said, you know what? I really want to help them. So I started a record company called the EPM Music Group. I help people like Crystal Rucker, Vincent Tharpe in Kenosis, Charles Butler in Trinity in the Washington, D.C. area. And I said, I really want to create something. But I remember going to a meeting with E1. And E1 was like, the distribution that we're going to give you for the other artists is not going to be the same. It's what we're giving you. And I went back to them and I honestly said, we're going to have to delay these albums coming out because I want the distribution to be just as strong, have as much reach, and have great marketing and promotion just as they do for me. And it felt bad having to go back to them because I could have felt like I let y'all down. But what I'm saying is I want to make sure I'm robust, that I'm strong, that I'm able to do what we all have said we want to do, which is reach the world with the gospel. And so it was a valuable lesson. It hurt me to not be able to bring the records out. But in God's timing, when we finally brought those records out, because we made sure we were strong, they debuted on Billboard. Crystal Rucker hit top 10 on Billboard, on the sales chart. All of them, they went on, all three of them, they went on to come into prominence and to do very well. But it was a very good lesson for me to learn that count the cost, make sure you're strong, go in there and you test it first. You always test it first and then come back and make sure, because once again, you're on display and people are watching. But above all, if you put your word out, then you need to make good on your word.
That's good. That's really good. And I like that piece about testing it first, because even though I don't go to the gym, there's one thing that I do realize: before you start lifting weights, you want to test it first. And
yes.
You said that, but as you were saying it, I was thinking he's absolutely right. You want to test it first to make sure that you can lift it and sustain it.
Yeah.
Ernest, I am so thankful, so very thankful that you took out the time to come and share on this platform. People are saying so many nice things. And I want to issue an apology. I usually broadcast directly from my personal page, and I tried to broadcast tonight from my Let's Talk to Cutler page and then transfer and share it over my personal page. I ran into a few technologies, so to those consistent virtual book club members, if you finally caught up with me, my apologies. I'll do better. I will do better Thursday. I promise you I'll do better Thursday. With my friend Ernest Pugh, and we just reviewed chapters lessons 7, 8, and 9 from We Don't Always Get It Right the First Time. Ernest, people are saying, they're following what you're saying and they're listening, and they're talking about, oh, my favorite Ernest Pugh song is this, my favorite Ernest Pugh song is that. So I have to put you on the spot, if I may, my friend.
Yes.
I cannot have the legend Ernest Pugh come on to Let's Talk to Cutler's virtual book club and not saying something.
This is what we do.
But people are saying, hey, I need your glory. They're like, I need your glory and rain on us. I mean, it's just coming in the comments. They love all of that. My mother just typed, that's my boy Ernest. So you asked about type, that's my boy Ernest. But I want to thank you, and I want you to sing something. Just sing a bar of something. Yes. Before you sing a bar of something, please tell the Let's Talk to Cutler followers and the Cutler, the virtual book club, let them know what's coming up next in the life of Ernest Pugh, if you would.
I'm releasing my 12th CD, which is called The Outpour Experience. It's coming out May 22nd of this year. It features Amber Bullock, and I went and got the legendary Betty Griffin Keller from the James Cleveland Singers. We went back and redid Grace of God.
Right now, of course, and I know the name. So I'm smiling and grinning. As soon as you called that name, my hands were like really?
Listen.
Okay, go ahead.
She's coming through cancer, so she got a lot to sing about. And she looks amazing. She sounds amazing. So God met us there. Mike Burrell and Keith Williams, they produced it, and we recorded it in Richmond, Virginia. So you can pre-order it right now. Right now, we got a single called God Wants to Heal You Everywhere You Heard. It's top 10 on Billboard right now.
One of my absolute favorites. You know that's one of my favorites.
So that's where we are right now. This is going to be my final. This is like my finale, the last full CD that I'm ever going to record. From here on out, I think I want to kind of focus my attention on, I'm going to profess with the seminary, but I'm also going to still release singles and still tour. But the 4 albums, that's my last one. We got a lot of placements we're doing in Hollywood with movies and stuff like that. But you'll see me, but you just won't get a full CD. So this is the finale. This is it. So anybody who goes over and get it.
Where can people go to follow you?
www.earnestpugh.com is my Facebook page, but all of my social media has the same handle, which is @EarnestPugh. And Ernest is spelled with an A, EARNEST, and then Pugh is PUGH. And I'd love to hear from y'all. I do respond to my own messages. So
that is very true.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
How is my cousin Cookie doing and the babies? Cookie with the twins. They probably grown by now. But and
Ernest,
Mother Annie is on. We already spoke to Mother Annie, but how are they all doing?
Ernest, man, they are doing fine. And right, they're not babies. They're not babies anymore. I know you.
14.
You used to get, there's three of them. You used to get the twins and stuff.
It's the twins and a girl.
Right. There's the twins and a girl. And you always thought the girls were the twins. No, it's the girl and the boy. That's Sean and Shakira and Kristen.
Oh, wow.
So Sean and Shakira were the twins and then Kristen. Yeah, but they're doing fine. I think Shakira is what. Yeah, Shakira is what. She's watching. She actually said. She's watching.
So they're on.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, wow. So y'all follow me on the pages and stuff too, y'all. I do a lot of jokes. You love my jokes over there.
See, I would say do a joke, but you've got to sing something. You've got to sing something.
Okay. Let's see. We're in this pandemic, and we just want to say to everybody that COVID-19 does have an expiration date, but even in the midst of it, how the God's mercies, they're new every morning. So I want to just lift this in your spirit tonight, because things could be a whole lot worse. And the song just says, all I have needed, thy hand has provided. Great is thy faithfulness, thy mercy and love. Summer and the winter, springtime and the harvest, the sun, the moon, and the stars in their courses. Oh, up above, they join with all nature and manifold witness to thy great faithfulness, thy mercy and love. Great is thy faithfulness, great is thy faithfulness. For every time I wake up in the morning, new mercy I see. And all I have needed, thy hand has provided. So I sing, great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me. Yeah. Pray for me.
Earnest Pugh. Ernest Pugh. Wow. And let me just tell you, the hand claps, the hearts, the thumbs up, all of that stuff is going. And I would tell you this. When you went up in the rafters one time, I think you blew the sound out of your mic, but thank you so much. So let me just say to all of those of you who have joined and followed Let's Talk to Cutler and the virtual book club meeting, and Ernest, thank you for sharing. So to your followers on the various platforms, thank you all so much. And Ernest, thank you. And as I always say from this platform, let's continue to build community and maintain connectivity. And during this quarantine, keep your heads up, keep your hopes up, because we're coming through this and we're coming through better. Can you all show some love to my friend Ernest Pugh one more time? Ernest, thank you.
God bless you.
Join us Thursday at 8 p.m. from the same platform. Thank you so much again.
Love y'all.
Ernest, you hang around.
Okay.